All right, next up, I want to bring on Jesse to talk about everything base. You probably saw a lot of this over the last week, and if anything, this is all Twitter and crypto Twitter was talking about. So I'm going to give him the stage here to talk about how do we bring in the next billion users into the Web3 ecosystem. Welcome, Jesse.
Thanks, Kartik. Hello, everybody, and huge round of applause to Kevin Filcher. Amazing, great talk. Really love that. We're excited and grateful to be working with the Optimism team. I'm ready to dive into how we're going to bring the next billion users to crypto. Just to quickly reintroduce myself, I'm Jesse. I'm the kind of first contributor to Base. I lead all things Base day to day. And I'm going to do kind of a high level overview of kind of what is our vision with Base and Coinbase for kind of how the on-chain economy and architecture has been developed. Then I'm going to share a little bit more detail about what is Base. And then I'll close with a few minutes of kind of like, how do you build on Base? How can you build on Base during this hackathon over the next few months, few weeks? And then if we have time, which we may not, we'll do some Q&A. But excited to be here. Thank you, ETH Global, for having me. Thank you, hackers around the world, for scaling Ethereum. So quickly, just a refresher, Coinbase. What is Coinbase? You've probably used it, Coinbase.com, Coinbase Wallet. We've been building in the crypto economy for 10 years. I like to say we have 110 million users and 80 billion TVL. That TVL right now is primarily stored in off-chain Coinbase.com. That is custodial. But one way I've increasingly been thinking about that off-chain custodial Coinbase.com is almost like a rollup or like an L2. It's just a really bad one. It's private. It is centralized. It's not transparent. And a lot of what I've been thinking about for the last many years is how do we move our users, our assets out of that kind of private L2 that doesn't work as well as it could and into new on-chain systems that give our users more flexibility, more autonomy, more agency, and bring them into this kind of burgeoning crypto economy that we're so excited to be helping to build. And I think as we're thinking about making that move for our customers, the thing that's really motivating us is this thesis that on-chain is the next online. And so I want to kind of quickly talk about what does that actually mean. We at a high level think about kind of the last 40 years of kind of building applications in 3 phases. The first phase was kind of pre-2000, which was the offline application development phase. This is when people were writing, code for computers or mainframes. At that point, information and money was still very much managed by central gatekeepers. And the folks who were building applications were moving really slowly and only had so much reach. You would write an app, you'd put it on a floppy disk or a CD, and then the best you could do is distribute it to everyone and hope that they opened up that piece of mail and put it in their computer. But for the most part, they didn't. And that meant that newspapers and banks were the way you could really kind of influence people. And then the internet happened. And it was this crazy thing. And for the first time, information became permissionless. And this created a whole new wave of innovation. We had millions of developers all over the world, and anyone anywhere could build apps for the internet that anyone anywhere could access. And developers started moving 10 times faster than they could before. We saw the rise of Twitter, Facebook. We saw the creation of video chat, streaming. Literally what we are doing here right now is only possible because of the online era unlocking information to be a permissionless thing that anyone could build on. And yet, money still had gatekeepers. If you wanted to build an application that touched money or value, you had to interact with banks, you had to interact with the government. You could not build something global for the people. And we believe that right now we are sitting on the precipice of the next big change. And that is moving from an online economy into an on-chain economy. And moving to the first time from a world where money has gatekeepers and value has gatekeepers to a world where both money and information for the first time are permissionless and anyone can build on them. And in that world, anyone, anywhere, you, wherever you are in the world, are going to build applications that use value, that use money, that use information that anyone, anywhere can access. And once again, we are going to see another 10x, 100x growth in the amount of impact that developers like you can have on a day-to-day basis. And so Coinbase has been building for this on-chain future for a long time. We started in 2012. At the time, there was no smart contracts. There was only Bitcoin. We made it the easiest place to buy Bitcoin. And then really starting in 2018, we began thinking about how do we go bigger? How do we come more on-chain? We launched USDC. We launched Coinbase Wallet. We launched CBETH. We launched the DApp wallet, the Coinbase app. All of these things gave our customers real on-chain experiences and were built by developers who were writing in smart contracts, building on this on-chain platform. And with the launch of Base, which I'll talk about in a second, which is our Ethereum L2, we are catapulting ourselves into the next phase of this on-chain future and starting to create a platform that makes it easy for Coinbase developers and developers globally to be building on-chain. And as we started thinking about Base, the thing that actually motivated us and the thing that got us to building an L2 was a process that we ran in 2022 where we tried to say, okay, everything's moving on-chain. We see that this is going to be an incredibly high impact new venue for developers to build. What is that actually going to look like? And how does Coinbase fit into it? And after a year of kind of digging, we took away 3 key takeaways. The first key takeaway was that EVM is going to be the primary developer platform that most developers are building applications for. This came from working with internal teams, working with external teams, observing that today EVM has 10x the devs, the dApps, TVL compared to any other platform, and that lead is only growing. And so as a result of that observation, what we've decided to do internally at Coinbase is build all of our on-chain products EVM first, both for our developer tools. So our internal teams have really easy way, paved road for getting started building on-chain, but also for our user-facing products. So everything works for all of the incredible EVM-powered products that y'all are building. So that was the first big takeaway. The second big takeaway was that Ethereum is going to be the primary L1. It's going to be the thing that provides security, decentralization, neutrality, and it's going to be the thing that enables scaling on top of it. And so for the last year, Coinbase and Base have been investing in scaling Ethereum. We've done that through contributing to something called EIP 4844, which is an upgrade to Ethereum that's going to make it so rollups like Optimism and Base and Arbitrum are 10 to 100 times cheaper than they are today, and get us closer to what we think about as kind of the magical fee number, which is less than a cent for the average transaction. And then the third takeaway, and this was one that was actually pretty surprising to us, or different than where we started, is we started thinking about this assuming that there was just going to be one L2, and that the most important thing for us was kind of picking the right L2. And I think after a lot of thinking and working and talking with teams, we ended in a place where we believe now that there's actually going to be many of these things, and that they're going to work together, they're going to interoperate, they're going to standardize, and they're going to scale Ethereum collectively. And that as Coinbase, our duty is to contribute to that. And that is why we're launching Base in collaboration with Optimism on the open source OP stack, so that we can start to have the tools that are freely available to anyone, anywhere, to build and scale layer 2 on top of Ethereum. Then we can ensure that those tools work for everyone and create a platform on top of which we can have many chains that interoperate seamlessly together. And so with all that context of our on-chain vision, our North Star is how do we bring 1 million developers and 1 billion users on-chain? And Base is our contribution to that. And so if you haven't heard it already, if you didn't see the blue dot on Twitter, Base is an Ethereum L2 that's built to scale the crypto economy. It's powered by the OP stack. It's empowered by Coinbase, which I'll talk about in a second. It's a fully open ecosystem, so anyone can build there. Coinbase will seed it with our users, our assets, our infrastructure, but then the magic of what will come on Base will come from all the developers everywhere, including y'all. It's low cost. We're going to have some cool rewards that we do for developers we're building there, and it's all secured by Ethereum. One thing that I want to dig in on is that component of empowered by Coinbase. What does that actually mean? When I say empowered by Coinbase, what that actually means is if you look at the Coinbase products today, we are increasingly starting to create opportunities for organic distribution of our user base, those 110 million users, to applications. And so this image on the left, you'll see this is our new Web3 page. If you go to coinbase.com/Web3, this is what you'll see. It's basically an app store, and it's ratings, it's reviews, it's search that allows any of our customers to start to find the best apps that they want to use. And over the next year, we're going to be building more and more of these tools. And the goal is to make it so that any user can access any app with a safe, trusted, easy to use interface, and that we actually bring those customers to developers like y'all, so that as you find product market fit, you can grow your business. And so that's the organic part of Empowered by Coinbase. The other side of Empowered by Coinbase is we're also starting to build what we call paid tools or acquisition tools. And so on the top left, you see a few ads. That's CoinLedger, that's LooksRare. We believe that there's an opportunity for us to rebuild the infrastructure of kind of advertising to make it more open, more transparent, more accessible to anyone, and to use that as a way of bringing the 110 million users that we have to the incredible application developers like y'all. And so the easiest way to think about it is imagine you build a lending product and you have 50 million TVL and your goal is to grow to 1 billion TVL. And what you find is that there's a certain class of users, maybe people who have a certain amount of money or hold a certain amount of assets, that are really high return on investment for your protocol. If you can get those users, they'll use your protocol, they will put their assets in it, they will help you grow your business, and you're willing to pay for that. And this is kind of the thing that we've seen from businesses forever. If they find product market fit, when they find product market fit, they're willing to pay to acquire the users that are going to be incredibly valuable for them. What we want to do with Coinbase is we want to make it so for anyone who finds those users, who starts to understand who those users are, we can give you access to those users. And we can do it in a way that protects their privacy. We can do it in a way that lives up to the best kind of values of decentralization and transparency that Coinbase has worked to embody over the last many years. And we can also do it in a way that delivers real value to your business. And so when we say Empowered by Coinbase, what we mean is our goal is to, through organic and paid distribution, take the 110 million users that we have in the Coinbase ecosystem today and bring them to developers like you so that you can grow your business, you can grow your protocol, and you can help us get to not 100 million users, but 1 billion users, then 5 billion users using the on-chain crypto economy every day. Now, a few more things that you might want to have questions about with Base or you're interested in learning. The first thing is Base is going to be fully permissionless, and it's going to gradually decentralize. This is something that a lot of people have asked. We believe that Base must extend and inherit the permissionlessness of Ethereum. And so that's why we're working with Optimism. That's why we're prioritizing decentralization. There's 3 big axes on top of which we think about decentralization. The first is block building. The second is protocol upgrade. The third is validator set. And we're going to be making significant progress on each of those this year and defending the kind of permissionlessness of Ethereum in Base as a layer 2. Talking a little bit more about that relationship with Optimism, Base is built on the OP stack. If you haven't heard of the OP stack or you didn't watch Kevin's talk just now, it's an incredibly powerful open source toolkit. It's MIT licensed, which means that anyone can use it, fork it, update it, contribute to it. And we are joining as the second core developer of the OP stack. And what that means is that Base and Coinbase are going to be taking our resources and putting them into accelerating the roadmap of the OP stack across things like security, decentralization, scalability. And what that means is you all are going to have a better toolkit for building your own chains if you want to. And the chains that you deploy on, like Base and Optimism Mainnet, are going to be faster, lower cost, and more secure. The second thing that we're doing as part of this collaboration is we are contributing a portion of the sequencer revenue from Base to the retroactive public goods funding model that Optimism has been pioneering. And what this means is we're taking our money and we're putting it into funding those public goods that make Base possible, make Ethereum possible, make the internet possible. And we believe that this is a critical thing for everyone to be doing as they're starting to contribute to this shared platform that is scaling the on-chain crypto economy. And then finally, the third thing is we're going to be working with Optimism and Ethereum to champion this decentralized on-chain crypto economy. I just mentioned it. We're making Base permissionless. It is a key component of what we believe the infrastructure of this crypto economy will be, and ensuring that that infrastructure remains open to everyone in the world is an absolute top priority for us. A little bit more color on timeline. If you haven't already seen it, we launched the testnet for Base 2 weeks ago. You can go start building on that today at base.org. I'll share a little bit more about how to get started in a second. We're working towards the mainnet in Q2. That we're going to start with a Genesis that's going to be more quiet, where the chain will start running, and then we'll gradually build towards a more go loud launch where all the Coinbase products are going to be integrated, as well as a ton of other ecosystem builders. And then as we progress through Q3, we'll have more rapid improvements to the security, the costs, the decentralization of the chain. And the key takeaway to know there is you can start building on Base today. And anything you start building on Base today is going to be on track to launch sometime in the next few months as we bring the testnet to mainnet. So now I want to dive a little bit more into how can you build on Base. There's 2 steps. The first is that you have to bridge some assets to Base. Base is running on, the Base testnet is running on Gurley, Ethereum Gurley. So if you go to bridge.base.org, you can take your Gurley assets and you can bridge them. It's really easy. It goes pretty much instantly from Gurley to Base. And at the other side, you'll have Ethereum on the Base Gurley network that you can use for gas. If you don't want to bridge, that's okay too. Coinbase has faucets that you can use. If you go to coinbase.com/faucets, you can really quickly get 0.1 Gurley ETH per day, and that will get you started with deploying contracts. If you don't want to go to coinbase.com/faucets, or you want more Gurley ETH than 0.1, oh, wow, I'm missing a slide. Where'd it go? Did it get deleted? Oh, we gotta go back. Sorry. There we go. If you want more than 1 Gurley ETH, let me get there again. If you want more than 0.1 Gurley ETH, every day or most days I am tweeting saying, tweet at me with your ENS name, and I'll send you 1 Gurley ETH. And so if you go to twitter.com/Jesse Pollak right now, you'll see the top tweet or one of the most recent tweets. You can just reply to that with your ENS name, and I will get you started with 1 Gurley ETH. And so last kind of closing component, if you want more information on how to get started, we have some guides. You can scan this QR code, and that will take you to a guide for using Hardhat, for using Remix. We're updating and improving this content every day. So keep going to docs.base.org, and we will make that happen. And so with that, I'm done 5 minutes early. And I don't know if Karthik is around, but we could open it up for questions, or we can wrap early.
Yeah, well, let's do questions. This is a hot topic in the sense that there's so much chatter around it, but everybody's just been busy and just managing all the inflow. So I have a couple questions, and as people kind of type their questions in chat, I'll field them too.
Awesome.
My first question to you is, obviously you talked about how people can build and why are you doing it, but how do you actually define success here? Is this to you the fact that you get to measure Coinbase brought in millions of users, or is it the fact that Ethereum itself became bigger, or something different, or a mix of both? What do you think is considered good?
Yeah, so if you look at the crypto economy today, I think we have a few million people who are using crypto on a daily basis, or maybe less than that, 1 to 2 million people who are using crypto on a daily basis. I think at the highest level, success is like 5 billion people are using crypto on a daily basis. And so how do we get there? Our thesis is we need to make it easier for developers to build useful applications. Too much of crypto has been about kind of trading historically, speculation, and we're just entering the point where we have the infrastructure for developers to build non-speculative applications, and we want to make it really, really easy for developers to do that. And so our kind of North Star there is 1 million developers. And I am overly ambitious maybe, but my goal is to get 1 million developers this year. through working with folks like Eve Global, Third Web, all the incredible kind of folks we've been working with. So the first measurement is like, can we get to 1 million developers who are building on Base and contributing to the broader crypto economy? And then the second one is, can we make it really, really easy for users to actually use those applications? So when developers build useful applications, developers can just do it without thinking. And it's a no-brainer. And it feels as easy as any product that they would use today. And I think that's where like Coinbase comes in. We're working really closely with the Coinbase team, but also the Rainbow team and the Frame team and other wallet teams to make it so that the experience of users actually accessing applications on Base is very easy. And that's where the kind of billion user goal will come in. And my goal is, again, overly ambitious, but 1 billion users next year. And so that's what we're going to be looking at. Like when I wake up every morning, I'm like, what are we doing to get to 1 billion developers and 1 billion users today? And we want those people to be obviously coming through Base, but then going everywhere in the broader kind of Ethereum super chain. We think about Base as a bridge, not an island, something that actually enables people to come from off-chain to on-chain, but then through interoperability at the chain level and then support across the Coinbase products, we'll make it so that users can transact wherever they want. So if they say, hey, I want to go use this application over there, we want to help them do that.
Oh, no, that's amazing. I think one thing that I like already is that you are, in a way, baking in the fact that this has to coexist with everybody else and not my own thing.
Yeah, I mean,
otherwise,
I think Coinbase we're just one part of the broader crypto economy, and y'all are the people who are building. We're the ones who, have been building, and we're going to create infrastructure, but y'all are going to be the ones who create the applications that billions of people want to use. I'm so excited all of you are here today to be doing that.
No, I think that's a wonderful note to end on, and we kind of get to see this live over the next 6 months, and get more devs to build on it and see if they can break things so you can fix them. And
amazing,
I go faster.
So. Amazing, thanks everyone. Docs.base.org, base.org. If you want one free Base girly testnet ETH, find me at twitter.com/Jesse Pollak. Reply to the tweet that's right there, and I will get that to you with your ENS.
Amazing. Well, thank you so much, Jesse, and looking forward to seeing what people build on Base.
Thanks, everyone.
All right. See ya.